there's any day that I should pay the organization that keeps this thing on the phones, it definitely is today.
Hi, everybody. I hear background. Before I start, I hear background in the background there. Okay, good. Welcome, everybody. I would like to say as follows, that today is probably one of the most important, holiest days in the calendar. Today is the 3rd of Tammuz. It's the Yaartzeit of the Lubuvicher Rebbe. Today is one of the most powerful days. One of the most important teachings that the Rebbe taught us is that each and every one of us descend to this world, and each and every one of us has a unique mission. And the Rebbe taught us that each and every one of us has been sent here to do something very godly. But the question is, who has the superior role? Who's more important, man or woman? To discuss this today is a very well-renowned Rebbetzin, Miriam Swordlov, who will be interviewed by Elana Afrika, who, thank you so much, both of you, for doing this. I'm going to pass over to you.
Thank you so much, Rabbi, and how significant that we are in this position today to discuss these matters. And I want to say a warm welcome to renowned speaker, educator, Miriam Swordlov, who joins us all the way live from New York. Hi, I'm Elana Afrika-Bredenkamp from South Africa. See, it doesn't have the same finesse.
What a world we live in. Look at this. I'm in Crown Heights, Brooklyn. You're all the way over there. And I love your restaurant, so get me back to South Africa. And look at us. We can just talk. Go ahead. Go for it.
Well, now that we can talk, I have to say, wow, when I saw today's topic, I thought, what a topic. Are women equal? The Rebbe's view. First of all, you are a relative. What?
So I'll tell you the truth. I'm a little bit, teeny bit upset with Rabbi Masinter for saying it, because I never tell anybody. He's a family friend. He's very close to my son Yossi, so he knows. But I don't talk about it because I am first and foremost a chassid, not a relative.
Right.
I'm a chassid. I think that the Rebbe changed the world, especially for women. But we'll get into that, I'm sure.
Well, seeing that we are getting in this and we're talking about women and equality, if we look at the word equal, right? So it talks about being the same in quantity, size, degree, and value. Are women really equal? Are we equal to each other?
Equal to what? Equal to what? What does that word mean? Are we equal? Equal to what? Is a tomato equal to an orange? Heck no. It's two different things. I don't need to be equal to anything else but me, womanhood. We are equal to women. Hashem created the world male and female. Ain't that fun? And we're equal to who we're supposed to be. I don't want to be equal to a man. Why would I want to be equal to a man? I have nothing to do with that. Of course I have something to do with that. I have a husband, Baruch Hashem, and sons, and 6 children, but equal to who? Only to ourselves. We have to be the best we can be. We are equal to us. Hashem has given us the power. I just heard something today that I loved, that very often people say maybe women are needy. No, we're needed. We're not needy, we're needed.
I love that. You see, we are needed, and I love you say that we're equal to ourselves. So let's unpack that quickly. Equality also refers to this, having the ability and resources to meet a challenge. Do you think that women are strong enough, creative enough, educated enough to accept a challenge? So let's assume it's not equal to men, but just the word challenge. If we are given a challenge, do we have the ability?
Elana, how did you get where you are? Did somebody bring you there? Did you get delivered in a Rolls Royce one morning? You got up and somebody picked you up and brought you? Or did you work like heck to get there? Of course we are up to our challenges. Yeah. Of course we're up to our, but you have to recognize that you can do it. The power is inside you. The Rebbe said all the years, by the way, today's a very hard day for me, very, very hard. And I want to thank Rabbi Masinter for giving me the opportunity to rise above myself today and to do this, because otherwise, I don't know how to explain it, but I wouldn't be in a good place. You can tell by my eyes, yeah? Today's a hard day. It's 26 years. It's a hard day. But on the other hand, by doing what I'm doing now, I rose out of my and I'm doing this. And I hope I'm doing it well because I rose to a challenge. And that's what we do in our lives. You have to rise to a challenge. You didn't learn how to swim if you didn't get into the water. You have to be in the water to learn how to swim. And we learned how to swim, and we can swim. Not me, yeah? But we can swim because we could rise above and keep going, and you'll do it. I'm done.
So we want to rise, and we want to be better, and we want to keep swimming like you're explaining. How important is it that we have to remember that women have got a greater degree of bina, of built? Do we? Because I'm thinking of someone who's watching right now that goes, okay, I want to rise. I also want to rise above the challenge. Yeah, okay, sure. So it is said that we have greater build, but how do you do that?
Okay, so the Rebbe was such a visionary, an incredible visionary, way ahead of his time. If I can use the word a Renaissance man, I hope nobody in Lubavitch kills me for this. The Rebbe is a visionary. And years ago, he said, get a mashpia, get someone that you could talk to, get a mentor, get someone that will help you. If you want to go from point A to point B, you have it in you, but you need to learn how to get there. I want to swim. Yeah, you got to go into the water, lady. And you have to learn the steps. There are tactics. There are ways to do things. Get a mashpia and work on it. Go from A to B, from B to C. With help. You have it in you. For instance, I knit. I love it because I hate wasting time. But I need instructions. I can't knit without instructions. When I get instructions and I follow the instructions, I make something beautiful. So yes, you could, but you need instruction and you need help. And you'll do it if you keep walking and going next step, next step, next step, next.
So in life we have the instructions, right? How can we follow it correctly?
We make mistakes and then we have to rip. Like in knitting, if you're not ready to rip, to take out the stitches, don't start knitting. Like in cooking, if you're not ready to make a mistake once in a while and the cake flops, I don't bake, I eat. You have to keep going. You have to keep going. You make mistakes. Of course you make mistakes. That's not a mistake. It's the next step. You're not a mistake. You maybe made a mistake. You keep going. You just keep going. How many mistakes did we make in our lives? Come on, Elana. I know about mine. Mine go on forever and always. I could write a book, a very thick book. But I wouldn't do it because I'm not dwelling on the mistakes I made. I'm dwelling on what the things that came out okay were. And the reason they came out okay is because I made 20 mistakes before that. And it's okay. That's why there are erasers on the back of a pencil and delete buttons on your computer.
If you just joined us, an insightful and the most beautiful chat. I hold your heart tonight. I really do. This is amazing. We are chatting to Miriam Swordlov all the way from New York. And our topic for today is, are women really equal? The Rebbe's view. Miriam, I just think that the word equal and equality, it's such a big word in South Africa. It's a big word about people protesting. It's a big word in the workplace. It's a big word in people's homes. Why do we have this perception that we are second to men?
It's ridiculous. The first thing we have to understand, and I want to say that to everything that's going on in New York now, I'm sure you read the papers. Maybe you shouldn't. It's not healthy. It's because people feel that they're second class to someone else. Therefore, they have to do a lot of screaming and a lot of looting. What's the matter with you? You were created in the image of God. That's not just a Jewish concept. That's the concept of the world. The day that you were born, do you know why you were born? Do you know why you were born? Because that morning, Hashem, God, the only God in the world, said, this world on this day needs you. So you were created because you are needed here. You are needed in this world. You're equal to yourself. Stop comparing yourself to everything and everybody else. My God, if I would compare myself, I don't want to say it out loud, but you know that I'm not so skinny. Not so skinny. And your eye makeup's better than mine. And so is your. But I'm not going to compare and you're beautiful, drop dead gorgeous. But I'm trying to be, listen, the best Miriam Fege Bas Yehudis that there is. I'm trying to be the best me that I could be. I can't be Elana. I can't. I can't be you. I can't be anyone else. Equality, the only one you have to be equal to is to yourself, and to take out of yourself the best there is in you. That's what the Rebbe did. I have to tell you a story. The rabbi before said that when I was a little girl, I was 2 years old when the Rebbe came to Paris. My grandfather, since the rabbi said it, I'll go with it. My grandfather, my mother's father, and the Rebbe's grandfather were brothers. So when the Rebbe's mother came to Paris in 1947, I was 2, so now you know. The Rebbe came to Paris to take his mother home to America. The Rebbetzin stayed in our house, Rebbetzin Chana. The Rebbe stayed in a hotel, but he came to our house every day, twice a day, to see his mom. What an incredible human being. But I'm not going there now. And he left us, each one of the children, he left us a gift. I was 2, and he left appropriate gifts for the children and with thought. So mine was a top that you go up and down with and goes round and makes noise. I have a brother, God bless him. He's wonderful, he's brilliant, but he's my brother, and he's 2 years older than me. And 2 brothers that are 2 years older than little sisters like to make fun of little sisters, I think. So my brother said that the reason the Rebbe gave me that gift, are you ready? It's because I'm short, I'm fat, I make a lot of noise, I run around, and I get nowhere. I'm glad you're laughing, Elana, because I didn't when you told me that. I thought, that's what I am.
It's funny.
What? You know why it's funny? Because he said it about me, not about you. That's why you think it's funny. If he said it about you, you wouldn't think it's funny. I was very upset, but I was a child. And then one day, I'll never forget this day. You know what? I was 60-something years old then. There I go. Well, today's a hard day. I cry all day today. And a wonderful friend, Jeannie Reichman. She was head counselor in my camp. And she gave me a gift, a little silver thing, the windmill in Yerushalayim, the windmill that went nowhere because there was no wind, but a little silver replica of the windmill. And when she gave it to me as a gift, she explained it. She said, I'm giving this to Mrs. Swordlov because she doesn't need the wind to keep her going. She makes the atmosphere wherever she is as she goes around the world and lights things up and goes around and round and round with her music. And that was the day I understood that the Rebbe gave me a bracha, a blessing, that I should be able to turn things, to put in electricity where it isn't, and to keep things going round and round. So everything has to do with how you see it. That gift wasn't given to me because I'm short and fat and make a lot of noise and I'm not getting anywhere. That gift was to show me you can do it. You have the power. You don't need electricity. You can do it yourself. Stop trying to be equal like someone else. Be equal like you. Okay, I'm done. Any tissues, Elana?
Oh, I'd send you some to New York right now. But, you know, I see your tears and I realize that your gift has become such an inspiration for others, because there's women and men tuning in tonight, and we're realizing, someone just said, Lynn just said, because sometimes it's our perception, right?
Yes. Not sometimes. Yeah. Not sometimes. Always.
Yeah.
Always. It's our perception. It's how you look at something. And the Rebbe told us that you can do it no matter who you are. I have a great story for the end, so nobody go anywhere.
Before we get to all the stories, a warm welcome if you just tuned in. I want to talk about education specifically. And today I read something on education and how that Rebbe felt about teachings. And I want to bring that in. Do we leave education and learning for the Rebbetzin, or do we all your face? See, there's a reason you're not wearing too much makeup today, because your expressions are killing me. So do we leave education for the Rebbetzin? Also, I want to know, how do you feel about secular schooling?
I think schooling is incredibly important. Two of my daughters have degrees. One is a speech pathologist and the other one is in computers. And I believe in education all the way, all the way, all the way. And I told one of my grandchildren I'm willing to pay for their master's degree. They'll pay me back, because I really believe in education. I really believe in it. And I think you are what you know. I say that in class all the time. You are what you know. And if you're a person with knowledge and with depth, and you could use it, as you said before, bina, very important word, bina, and you could use it, go for it. It's not for the Rebbetzins. What kind of Rebbetzins? It's for every person in the world to become the best they can be. You know, years ago, education meant you learned how to make a good chont, a great kugel, and if you're Hungarian, a delicious kokosh. If you don't know what that is, become Hungarian. It's good. Not anymore. You still should make a good kokosh. My kids make a good kokosh. They're better bakers than I am. But go for it. I believe in education. I believe in becoming the best you can be. Of course, you have to be careful where you're going to school and what the concept of the school is. My daughter went to Touro College, which is men and women. Doesn't matter. That's not the point. Your question was education. That's my answer.
We're talking about equality and are women equal? And we've touched on so much. And tonight, I see how you are reaching out to so many people who's watching this webinar. What's the Rebbe's perception on outreach and reaching out to, and keeping in mind your comment about mentorship earlier, about how you need to reach out to someone that can take you from point A to B, and how you need to have guidance if you feel that you cannot grow as a person. So what's your perception? And also, what does the Rebbe's teaching say about outreach?
Okay, the Rebbe said, if you know A, teach A. If you know A and B, teach A and B. Teach whatever you can to whoever will listen. And the Rebbe really, but I can't get over, nowadays, the heads of companies, the CEOs are 70, 60, 50, 40. The Rebbe Shluchim left at 20-something years old. Little kids that just got married with 2 babies or 1 baby or no baby yet. And he said to them, you can do it, you can teach. And they said, what? What? Yes, yes. Start, teach, influence. As the Rebbe said to one of the shluchim, Rabbi Lipsker and his wonderful wife, Chani. They went to Florida years and years and years ago, and Chani was scared. Normal, she was scared. She was leaving a wonderful family. In fact, I think you have a Rabbi Lipsker in, I think it's his brother, or maybe not.
Yeah.
And
I don't know if it's
the Rebbe
brother,
said
but we
to
have a
Rabbi
Rabbi
Lipsker, the Rebbe said to Rabbi Lipsker, Mrs. Lipsker, ich fahr doch mit euch, which means, I'm going with you. I'm going with you. So don't worry. I'm going with you. And I have to tell you this, I find this incredible. This year not, because that's how God wanted it. I do trips to with teenagers to Ukraine, to Russia, and to Israel. And one year when we were in Russia, we stayed up Farbrengen, talking to Rabbi Beryl Lazar, the chief rabbi of Russia, Moscow, till the wee hours of the morning. And he said when he got to Russia, he was a young kid. Him and his incredible wife, Chani, they lived in terrible circumstances. He said, and he went and he met with political figures, and he thought, what am I going to say? What am I going to say? If they ask me questions, I don't know the answer. But he knew he was sent there by the Rebbe. And as the Rebbe said to the Lipskers, ich fahr doch mit euch, I'm going with you. So he too felt that. And he says, they asked him a question, he didn't the heck know, really. And words sort of came out, and he sort of was able to, and they were the right things to say. Because he went into himself. He went into himself and he found the answer. And Hashem helped him, and the Rebbe helped him. And so influence. If you know something, share it. For instance, this thing that I just heard this morning, you're not needed, you're not needy, you're needed. I just heard it from Rabbi Friedman early this morning. I got up early so I could research things for today. And I heard it from Rabbi Friedman. I already used it 3 times. What you know, what you feel, give out. And Hashem is giving you the strength because you have it inside you. And you only have to be equal to you, not to anybody else. Don't compare yourself to anybody else. Don't think about, it's about you. You have to be the best Elana Afrika-Bredenkamp, I hope I said it right, that you can be. Did I do that okay?
You're brilliant in everything, and you're such a motivation. I'm enjoying listening to everything that you are saying, and we have some.
I love your children's artwork.
Thank
I'm
you.
sorry, I'm stuck in this little thing since the Zoom thing happened, and I don't know how to do it. So I'm sorry, but imagine that I have gorgeous artwork back here.
You're a work of art. You need nothing around you at this stage.
Thank you.
So we have a big yes from Lynn. She's commenting on what you're saying. Also, yes, we are equally strong. This is a question and comment that's coming through. But why do some men think that we are inferior, which questions our equality? So Anonymous, I'm going to call you Anonymous, is saying, if we are equally strong and all of these things are true, why do some men think that we are inferior, which questions our equality?
What? That's his problem. I would imagine anyone who thinks that we're less doesn't understand, doesn't begin to understand. Every man that is real, every man that is honest, every man that looks at himself and at his wife and at his family and at his children and at his especially female, knows that the hand that rocks the cradle rules the world. He knows that. Thank you, Nechama. My friend Nechama always says that. Every man that understands something. I find in general that when you're putting someone down, it's because you're not okay. man that thinks that we are less, I would suggest to him to get a mashpia, to look into the mirror, and to see maybe he's doing something that he's not. I don't mean to put people down, I'm sorry. But to say that we are less, to say that we are less, it's because he doesn't understand. Chochma bino das, bino. We're the ones that bring it down. Come on, every man knows that. If he doesn't know that, I'm sorry for his wife. I'm sorry, because we are. I'm not saying chas v'sholom, we're not superior. We're doing what we're supposed to do. We're just doing what we're supposed to do. And but I have to tell you this story. Nothing to do with nothing, but I love it. I was teaching a 12th grade class, and there was a young girl in my class. When I tell you a zero student, a zero student. A zero student, I don't know if she knew how to read in the 12th grade. And one day in class, she raises her hand. She says, Maura, do you mind if I ask you a question? I said, go ahead. She says, I'm not very good in school. I wasn't going to say, yeah, I know. I'm your Maura. She said, so what am I going to do? What am I going to do? I'm not very good in school. I said, what do you do well, Zizkeit? She said, I make very good blintzes. I said, hey, I don't know any marriage that fell apart because you didn't know your Chumash or your Jewish history. But if you're not a balabasta and you're not making good food, men don't like that, and neither do women. We like homes, we like balabatishkeit, we like set tables, we love blintzes. She was so happy. 2 years went by, and I got a call from somebody, a shatchen. I don't know how to say shatchen in English. And a matchmaker. And she said, tell me about this girl. I said, she makes great blintzes. She makes great blintzes. She's going to be a terrific balabasta. She will feed him. She will have a wonderful, clean, spotless home. And she makes great blintzes. I went to the wedding. Both sides came over to me, kissed me, and said, thank you for the blintzes story. So each one of us, in our own way, we're not all doctorates. But man, if you make good blintzes, deliver it. 484 Crown Street, Brooklyn, New York, 11225.
If you just joined in, and I can see our numbers increasing, hello, and what a special, special time we're having today. Rabbi Jacinta set it up today together with Miriam Swordlov, who we're talking to all the way from New York. I'm in South Africa, and we just get to share and talk so much about the equality of women. I must say, so far this chat about we started out with, are women really equal, the Rebbe's view, and Miriam, your insights and your experience and what you have learned over the years is contributing so much and helping so many people. There's a few comments, so soon we'll do more Q&As and also look at your comments as well. But when you spoke earlier about inferiority, how we can be more than just ourselves, you know, how we can have mentorship, I immediately thought of childbirth as well. There's so many things that us as women can experience and do that anyone else can't. What's the Rebbe's view on childbirth? I read an amazing and fascinating book that talks about the meaning of life, right? And why we were born. And you just mentioned it now. You mentioned a different word, but in my words, it's purpose, right? So we all born for purpose. But if we take childbirth and we talk about women and why we shouldn't think that we are inadequate or that we're not equal or that we're not enough, what is the Rebbe's view on childbirth?
I forgive me, I don't understand the question. What does that mean? What is the Rebbe's view on childbirth? The view on childbirth is go for it. I don't understand.
Why were we born? Why were we brought into this world? Yeah.
Oh, so not childbirth, just what is the essence of your being? What's the essence of your being on earth? My God, a doctorate we can write on this one. Yes. It's because you're needed. Again, we're going to say it again. Thank you, Manas Friedman, because you're needed. The day you were born is the day that Hashem said, Miriam Fege Bas Yehudis, on the 22nd of Adar of the year 1945, Hashem saw that the world cannot go on without me. And so in a little town called Frunze, in the middle of Kyrgyzia, right near Afghanistan, if you want to know where that was, at the end of World War II, at a very hard time for my parents. Hashem saw a reason for me to be born. And every day, I really mean that, and every day, I think to myself, is my raison d'être, is my reason for being here? Am I fulfilling what the Rebbe that Hashem Yisbarach wants from me in this world? And at the end of the day, when I say Shema, and I say, Hareini Mechel, I forgive everybody for anything they did to me, and I klap al chet, I ask Hashem, I tell him actually, I hope I fulfilled what you wanted on the 22nd of Adar of 1945. Because obviously I was born for a reason. Yeah. God don't make no junk. God don't make no junk. If you were created, it's because you were needed here. Now it's up to you to find the reason. And you know what? It could be for something small. It could be for making blintzes or kokosh cake. I'll be happy to help you. You cook it, I'll eat it, we'll be fine, life is good. But that's what it's about. It's about doing something with your life. Even at my age, I try to reinvent myself, to do something new.
No, you're incredible, I must say.
Thank you.
Miriam, I see that my internet connection is unstable, so I'm going to try and read some of our questions and comments. I hope that you guys still see us and that we are still live. Miriam, 2 weeks ago, Miriam, the 2 weeks I spent with you in Russia. Someone has spent time with you. This is from Jennifer. Do you know Jennifer? So she's writing to you. She says, Miriam, the 2 weeks I spent with you in Russia and in the Ukraine were life-changing. I think of you so often, and every time I do, I thank Hashem for putting me together with you and also in those phenomenal places. I'm loving listening to you. Jenny Unterslag.
Jenny, I will never forget you. I'm not going to say that other joke that we had between us. I'll leave that for us, but it was incredible. It was life-changing for me too, to be with you. Thank you, Jen. I appreciate it.
We also have a comment from Lynn. Oh, Miriam.
Yes. There I go again.
I don't have any tissues with me to give you all the way in New York, okay? But
and there's nobody, my husband's in 770, there's nobody in the house. I need tissues, somebody.
We love your tears. We accept all of it, your big heart. Lynn also says, she's commenting on something that you said. She talks about that your reason for being is important. And she talks about compassionate self-forgiveness and gratitude. It's a big theme for me, gratitude, because it's the one thing that I wake up with. So Lynn is speaking to that. So thank you, Lynn, for your comment. Hi, Miriam. Wonderful to see you, says Shoshi Myers. You can say hi.
I have to tell you, people always say to me, Miriam, you don't need feedback because, you know, you go everywhere and people, I need feedback. I do. So it's not so nice to hear feedback. It's so nice to hear a good word. Thank you. Mwah.
There's another story, because you're great at storytelling, and I'm enjoying how you are unpacking life lessons through stories. Tell me the story of Shirley Chisholm.
Oh, wow. What a story. That's a story and a half. So, in 1968, there was a woman in Crown Heights, a Black woman, not Jewish. Her name was Shirley Chisholm, and she ran for Congress. The first Black woman. Imagine what a world we've come to now. What a change. The first Black woman running for Congress, and she won in 1968. She was female, she was Black, and she won. It was a big hoo-ha.
Yeah.
She wanted the seat. You know, they give, I don't know how to explain it. She wanted the seat either on poverty or on housing for Crown Heights, for the neighborhood, for here. And Instead, listen, American Congress is not so good, you know, and they were sarcastic and they were shocked, and they gave her a seat on the House Agricultural Committee. She lived on President Street in Crown Heights. Bosphora agriculture do we have in Crown Heights? The next day, even the New York Times wrote, does a tree grow in Brooklyn? Because it made no sense. The Agricultural Committee? What are you, not normal? It was a slight to her. It was sarcastic. And she felt it. And she felt it. And she took it personally. And she was very upset. And one day, she gets a phone call, 493-9250, 770. And the Rebbe secretary says to her, Rabbi Schneerson would like to see you. Interesting. He was one of her constituents. So she went. She went into the Rebbe's Yechidus room. Now that brings tears again. And I'm sure she sat down. And the Rebbe said to her, I hear you're very upset. She said, upset? I'm hurt to my core. What are they trying to say to me, Agricultural Committee? And the Rebbe said these incredible words. Every challenge is an opportunity. Don't take it like that. Every challenge is an opportunity. And you, something's wrong with my computer, forgive me.
We can still see and hear you.
Okay, and you have gotten a challenge. And then the Rebbe said something. The Rebbe was knowledgeable in everything. I said before, Renaissance, yeah? In everything. The Rebbe said, there are food being imported from other countries. I think it was Mexico. Oh, Trump would have a good time with that. And the Midwest had surplus of food and losing money. He says the Midwest has a surplus of food. We need food to the poor areas. Go for it. Do something. You can do it. She walked out of the room so empowered. When she got to Washington, she met a senator from Kansas, I think. That's corn, right? And together they started the most incredible program. It's called WIC. WIC is for women that are pregnant and babies and nursing mothers. It's milk and it's formula and it's cereal and whatever. And the food stamp program. She took the food stamp program from nothing to a national program. And in 1984, when President Obama honored her, she said it all came from a rabbi in Brooklyn who believed in me and said that every challenge is an opportunity. Wow.
Miriam, I can tell you now that in this space, and especially finding ourselves in lockdown, and there's just so many themes, I think, not just for South Africans, but women around the world, that has become so significant. The fact that, and we've said it here, that in every curse there's a blessing. Yes. The fact that you can talk about someone who in the 70s had an occurrence or something happened, but it's still relevant today. And what a beautiful chat we've had where people have commented about opportunity and feeling valued as women of valor. And I want to ask you, I mean, we started out talking about women and are we really equal, and the Rebbe's views. If you could describe the role of women in this interesting time, what would you say it is?
I have to think, to put it into short, to keep doing what we're supposed to do. I know what I did in my house during these 3 months. I was a rock of stability to my family, as Lynn Hafner is writing. And I just kept going. I kept going no matter what. I kept going. Last night, Gimmel Tammuz, I invited my children to come over so we could sit and bring about the Rebbe. I invited my children to come over so we could tell stories, so we could sing songs. I fed. I gave good food. By the way, if you invite anybody, you got to feed them. That's what it's all about. Make it fun.
Mm.
What's our job? To keep it together. One of the kids once said one of the nicest things about me. She said, Bubby, you're the glue. You're the glue. It's so nice to be the glue.
Mm.
But in every family, the woman is different. In some families, she's the glue. In some families, she's something else. So what's our job? Our job is to do what we're supposed to. What's your inside? What is your inside? What is your heart? They tell a story about someone who came to a house and said, is the head of the family home? And the kid said, no, the head isn't, but the heart is. Ma! 1 minute, yes. And that's what it's about. It's about being the heart of the home. 1 minute. Please stay, I'll be out in a minute. I'm sorry.
You should invite them in. Who's at the
Yeah,
door?
I was going to, but I'm sitting in a funny place. It's in my bedroom. It's not so. We're the heart.
Yeah.
Do what you have to do. Be the heart of your home. Give your husband encouragement. They need it, especially now. Some men aren't working, and you know we're stronger. We're stronger. Be the heart of the home. Be the heart for your children. Be the best you can be. You know what? Just be the best you can be, and don't look at anybody else. And don't listen to your friend who made 75 cockroaches and 98 blintzes and 74, I'm not sure what. Do the best you can do. I always say, I don't bake, and it's fine. It's fine. Be the best you can be. Elana, I'd
Miriam,
love to see the comments.
Miriam, there were 100. I think the admin has removed it. As soon as you shouted through that door. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Listen, this has been the best chat ever. It feels like I'm speaking to the glue of my family. It feels like I've known you for more than 45 minutes. And thank you so much for your time, Miriam.
You know why?
Why?
Because we're women.
Mm.
And we look into, there I go again, and we see into each other's soul. Because we're women. We cut through I don't want to use a bad word. We cut through all of that. We cut through it. We go straight to the neshama. We go straight to the soul. That's who we are. And that's what we can do. And that's what we have to do. And the Rebbe has empowered us to do what we have to do the way we have to, in the best way we can. And we have the strength to do it. Just do it, Rebbeinu Dal Mekula. Do it. Let's bring Mashiach. Let's bring Mashiach. And Rabbi Masinter, I haven't been in South Africa in a long time, and I want to meet Elana. We're going to go out to lunch. Yay! And you're paying.
Yay, that's even better.
I eat a lot, though. Start saving.
Miriam, this has been the best. I can see them wanting to stop me, renowned educator and speaker, but a mother, and like you said earlier, the glue, and for some of us, it will be something else. But you've been so insightful and so incredible. Thank you for just reminding us that we are enough. I'm emotional now. Thank you for making us remember that we are enough and that we should just do it. Okay? So we will. Not just because you said it, but because that Rebbe has great teachings. And so, thank you.
Thank you, sweetheart.
Ladies and gentlemen listening, I give you Miriam Swordlov all the way from New York. Thank you, Miriam. It's been an honor.
Mrs. Swordlov,
yes.
On behalf of the Bud House and all who joined in, thank you so much. It really was inspiring. Thank you for your time. It was inspiring and empowering. Everyone, it's a must for everyone to hear. Thank you very much.
Can you send me the chats? Can you send me the comments? I'd love to see them.
For sure.
Swordlov@gmail.com.
I will do.
Okay.
And Elana, thank you for being such an amazing panelist. You know what? Not one person could do it like you do. And
Thank you.
everyone who joined in, thank you so much. And have a great evening. And Mitzvah Hashem, we should have the coming of Mashiach now.